There we go.
Great.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lorenzo Grayson. I'm the president of the Berkeley Junior Jackets cheer and football team. I'm also the founder of Young Lives Matter, the co-founder of Voices Against Violence. I deal with a lot of conflict resolution in the community, mentor a lot of kids in our program. We started the Berkeley Junior Jackets program in 2017, and it's not all about football and cheer. We use this program as a mentoring tool for all the kids. We're starting another program called On the Field, Off the Streets. And whatever the field is, it don't mean a football field. It just means a field, whatever the kids, whatever they like to do, podcasting, art, whatever. So we're going to bring that sometime soon this year to the kids in the community, because we understand everybody don't play sports. So that's what I'm about. That's who I'm about. In the saving young lives, and Young Lives Matter.
Thank you, Coach. I know you've worked a long day, and I'm sorry to have you speak.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's what I do.
It's what you do. I know you don't ever stop. I'm wondering if you would say a word about where you come from in this community, and what kind of got you focused on youth wellness.
Well, I've been in Berkeley for 53 years, but I was also a troubled child growing up. You know, I did graduate from Berkeley High, did go to college, spent 1 year at Langston, Oklahoma, and then transferred, came back home to CC. But I seen a lot of violence growing up in our community in Berkeley. Like I said, I was part of the problem when I was younger, so I'm just trying to be part of the solution right now.
That's wonderful. That is so inspiring. Is Lynn Marie joining us this evening? I'd love for people to meet her.
I don't think so. I think she's working. Thursday is one of her long days.
Her long day. Okay. Yes. That's fine. So Lynn Marie is your fiance, and they started Young Lives Matter, a foundation 7 years ago. And the main offering has been Junior Jackets football and cheerleading. But as Coach Lowe has said, that's really just the vehicle for mentoring, leadership development, teaching kids how to be a member of a team, giving kids role models who are caring and can just walk with them, people who really understand what they're facing in life. So one of the things also I wanted to just introduce quickly, Reverend Craddock, not quickly, as long as you want it to be. I'll say that Coach Lowe and I and Reverend Craddock are 3 directors of nonprofits in Berkeley, and we're coming together to create a shared vision for what would improve the life chances of our community's most marginalized young people. And so Junior Jackets serves about 150 youth every season, but they've done it with no support from the city, no support from the school district. Sometimes the kids and families are able to pay for their involvement, many times not. And so it's really been something that Coach Lowe and Lynn Marie have spearheaded and often funded out of their own pocket. So Reverend Craddock and I, both in knowing Coach for some time, have just become increasingly passionate about what he's doing, in large part because of the rising problem of youth on youth violence in Berkeley and beyond. And there are fewer and fewer programs for the very population of young people who are most at risk of being impacted by community violence. So back in the day, and Coach Lowe can tell you more about this, but there were a lot of opportunities for young people, especially young people of color. Young Black boys and girls had a lot of places where they could be with community leaders who were culturally tuned into them, knew what they were going through in life, and there were lots of positive opportunities. And that is less and less the case. So Reverend Craddock joined me and Lowe to basically see what we can do to build community support for this program and for the larger agenda for centering youth leadership and family leadership among those who are closest to the impact of violence and inequity. So my guess is that Reverend Craddock, who's here, may have gotten called away. This is dinner hour for everybody with young children. Oh, there he is. You're muted. Rev.
There I am. Can you hear me?
There you are. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm back.
I would love for you to share whatever. I'm going to spotlight you here. I would love for you to share whatever you would want to share about why you're supporting Junior Jackets, what your background is, what your passion is, and what your vision is about where this could be going.
Yes. So good evening, everyone. Once again, I am Kevin Craddock. I'm actually the lead pastor here at the Ebenezer Baptist Church of Berkeley, right off of Woozy and MLK, where we meet right across the street from the Ashby BART station. I'm passionate about sports. It's one area in my life that has really led me to places around the world, and it led me in places in myself that I never knew ever existed. Talent in myself, it taught me discipline, it taught me determination, it taught me dedication, and it led me down this path by avoiding other paths. And this was the biggest thing. People often speak of me and say, well, you never got in trouble though. You never got caught up, and you were always doing. I say, yes, because I was always at practice. I was always in sport. I was always focused. I thank God for giving me a love for it, a passion for it that I couldn't even put into words. It just was a desire of mine to pursue this diligently from 5 years old. And I started at 5 with the 3M Track Club, who we trained in. I was a track and field athlete. We trained at Oakland Tech High School, and our coach is actually one of the former police chiefs of Berkeley. He founded the 3M Track Club, William Pittman, and he's still doing it, still at it. It was there way before me, and it's still there now. And they train at Laney. I go up there a lot, and he's right there. They actually train at Laney because I used to coach there, and I had heard I got word that Tech had kind of squeezed them out, and I was able to bring, because I knew how important it was, we were able to shift them over to Laney College. And he's still doing the work, still producing young people, keeping them out of trouble, keeping them on the straight path, the same values that are being taught to the Berkeley Junior Jackets. And at a time when we need peace so bad, I think we're trying to do something new. And instead, we haven't stopped for a second and looked at our history and seen what has pulled peace into our communities in the past. And I think that's one thing that we should analyze. Sport is a place where when you're out, there is no color. There is no status or financial status, and there it's just a team going after one common goal together. And it keeps you so focused and locked in. You don't have too much time for the other things. You'll get questioned for them, and you'll get kind of tempted. But when you are locked in with sport, and I can tell you because I've done it, it's just I didn't have time to make mistakes because I just kept turning back to, oh, I have practice. I have to be at that place, or Coach Pittman he's going to hold me accountable for that. And I took that to heart. I knew how much he cared. He was taking his time, and I was young and I was aware of these things. I don't think we give the young people credit on understanding that people are stepping into their lives wanting to assist them reach goals, reach dreams, reach aspirations. And so these young people on the Berkeley Junior Jackets, they know Coach Lowe is assisting with pulling them into that right path, and really not just pulling them, but pulling them back when necessary. And pulling them back again. It's one of those things that you don't let go of. You're always, Coach Lowe, I know, will always be in the shadows. I know it because he's the same type of coach that Coach Pittman was. And Coach Pittman, when I hit high school, I was no longer running youth track. I was in high school now. And you look up, Coach Pittman was sitting in the stands at every single one of our championship meets. I got to college at UCLA. I was fortunate to get a full scholarship, didn't have to pay a dime for school because of the path that he allowed me to take. And it kept me focused. It kept me locked in, and it kept me understanding my worth, because he kept pushing me to go after things to make me understand, okay, so I deserve that. I should go get it. And he was like, you only deserve it if you get it, if you go after it, if you do the work, if you stay focused, if you put in the time. And this is what I know through sport. Many may not know, I am a 3-time Olympic trials competitor. I'm a world championship team member for Team USA. I've ran the fastest time in the world a few times. I was ranked top 10 in the world for years. When I was in high school, I was the California state record holder, the high school national record holder. All of this started when I was 5 years old in youth sports. It started when I was young. And it helped me accomplish my goals. I had a teacher tell me in the, what grade was that? In the 2nd grade. Yeah, she asked me what colleges we wanted to go to, and she's going around asking kids. And at the time, I didn't know too many colleges, but I knew one that I watched every Saturday for football with my dad, and that was UCLA. And so I told her UCLA. And I actually had a track meet the next day in Arizona, and I wouldn't be at school on a Friday. And, you know, I opened my mouth being a young kid and just talking. And so I won't be here tomorrow. So I need my schoolwork, because I needed my schoolwork because I was missing a day. That just made sense in my head. And he actually turned around to me and was like, you know, sports aren't going to take you anywhere. And she was, you need to be in school. You need to tell your parents, you need to be in class. You don't need to be doing sports. And it would be funny to see her face now, because the sports took me into that school that I told you I was going to go to in the 2nd grade. And furthermore, I was blessed enough to be able to come out with a 0 balance. You know, that's the biggest thing. That's one of the biggest things that sports put into my life. It gave me structure in such a way that I understood what it takes, or I understand what it takes to be disciplined enough to access your goals. I'm still accessing goals today because of what sport took me through. I'm still going for big things today, and I'm seeing them flow into order and then fall in front of me. And it's the discipline, it's the determination, it's the dedication that I learned from sports. So I encourage everyone to support sports. At a time where they seem to have been slashing it over the last couple decades, I want to encourage us to support. And whatever that is, support by showing up. I can tell you right now, showing up is a big piece. Coming to the game, seeing somebody in the stands, seeing, me being able to look up in the stands at times and see a whole crew of people wearing red, family and friends, people I didn't know, people from my mother's job and my father's job, and people are just showing up to support me. Support me because they knew that I was doing something positive and I was doing something that would lead me into a better space in my life, no matter where my life was. I tell our kids here now, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best, meaning you can always get better. You can always go to higher heights. There are no limits. And I learned that through sport. So there are many ways, yes, but I encourage peace through sport, through dedication, through discipline, through integrity, through relationship, learning one another. I've been all over the world. I've been able to sit with so many different cultures and people and folks that I felt like, why I'm sitting at the table with one of the presidential candidates for Poland at the time. And how did we get here? We're just, I'm just running track. And here we are, dinner guests of some of the highest people in power in the world at the time. And track just led me there. Sport led me there. And if it wasn't for the discipline, the integrity, the dedication, I wouldn't have been any of that. I wouldn't be who I am today. And it kept me peaceful. It kept me peaceful. People tell you I smile all the time. I'm always kind of moving. It's rare that you catch me in a off mood, but it's running helps me. Working out always leveled me out. It has always been my go-to space. It has always been my peaceful place. So I encourage us to really seek peace through sports. And I can only tell you because that's what I've been through. So I'm an ambassador for it.
Reverend Craddock, I want to lift up one of the things that you said about it mattering for kids to see the community supporting them in this. And I would love for you to just say, however much you want to say about what the organizing that you're doing through your church community. And I'd love for Coach Lowe to get to say what it means to him and to the kids and to the other coaches on the team to be able to feel your community support. So yeah.
So we're a church full of former athletes and current athletes and future athletes, hopefully. So when it came time to really give back, when we discussed giving back, I wanted to go into the sport area to really give back to the community. And I was thinking, maybe we could put together something like Berkeley Olympics and encourage the community to come out and we all join together. And then I got word that Coach Lowe and the Junior Jackets were actually looking for support. And when I got word, I sat down with our leadership team and I said, hey, this is the path we're going to take. Because this is present. And we don't need to create another problem. Trying to pull something together around the city is another problem. Here we have a problem that is moving right now, and we can help solve. And it lines up in order with what we believe. So not only are we supporting financially, but we are also pulling in leaders in our church. We have many who were scholarship athletes in different sports. And we're pulling them in, lining them up, and we're going to be heading out to practices, heading out to games, standing with the team, letting them know that we're here, giving our knowledge too. One thing that I'm big on that people will tell you, anyone who kind of is around me will tell you, I'm big on getting the young people to college. I'm big on getting them to college for free. That's my biggest thing. That's what I really go after. And I do it through sport because that's how I was able to get it through sport. And even up to this date, I think I have about 13 athletes under me who have gone off to college and gotten their degrees on full scholarships. And then out of those 13, I have 7 that I guided along the way to show them what they didn't tell me is how we can get your master's in that period of time too. So 7 of them actually were able to go through, get their bachelor's, use how I told them to set up their classes, and get the school to actually pay for their master's too, because they had finished early enough. So it's what I see as being a big trend for the Junior Jackets, is trying to get a pipeline of not just peace, but college young people who will come back to the community and help lead the community.
Yes.
And if we have instilled in them a peaceful community, even with all that's going on in our community, if we have instilled a sense of peace, they will be the leaders that come back and push peace deeper into our community.
Thank you, Reverend Craddock. That's powerful. Coach, I'm wondering if you could say a word about what the partnership with Reverend Craddock's community means to you and to the young people on the team.
So it's been truly a blessing. Like I said earlier when we talked, it's just been a blessing for us to connect. But it's one of my goals to build a community and build families. Through this football program, we have met a lot of amazing people, but families coming together through sports, and children coming together through sports. I mean, we teach them to learn how to be teammates, to be law-abiding citizens in the future. But with Reverend Craddock and Reverend Angela, you guys been truly a blessing. And I think this is what community work is all about. You reach here, you reach there, and everybody come and support in the middle. As I was growing up playing football for the Berkeley Cougars, I watched my coaches and mentor plant that seed, build that foundation. And that made me come back to the community to give back to the community. So it's just been truly a blessing. And I think God sent you and Reverend Craddock and everybody on this call tonight. I think it was God.
Amen. Amen. Well, I would actually love to put Scott Blake on the spot. I would love to talk a little bit about Junior Jackets Day and invite everybody to come participate in it. Actually, Coach, if you wouldn't mind first telling us what is Junior Jackets Day? And then if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, Scott Blake works for Ceasefire in Oakland, another lifelong Berkeley guy who grew up with Coach Lowe. And he knows everything there is to know about creating community peace through these kinds of positive interventions for young people. And I would love, you said something in a meeting the other night about San Pablo Park and your vision for Junior Jackets Day and what we can change at San Pablo Park. But first, let me ask Coach Lowe if you would say a thing or two about Junior Jackets Day. And we want to invite everybody to come on in and participate. And there's a range of ways you can do that. But first, let me have Coach Lowe tell you what it is.
So Junior Jacket Day is a day of appreciation to the community, meet and greet to the community, let them know we appreciate them for accepting us, being in the community. So we just have free food, live DJ, jumpers from the kids. Everybody in the community is invited. And it's just a day of peace and just fellowshipping. And then it's a day of, on the business side, everybody that participate in the program turn in their paperwork and everything before the season starts, because the season starts July 25th, that Monday. So this is the 6th annual Junior Jacket Day.
And where is it going to be, and what time?
It's going to be at San Pablo Park, and that will be on the south side of the park by the tennis courts, and it'll be from 12 to 4.
A week from Saturday?
Yeah, July 23rd.
July 23rd. Wonderful. Wonderful. I want to ask Scott a few questions about this, but then I want to get back to what you guys all need in terms of support to make the day a huge success. But Scott, first, I don't know if you remember what you were saying the other day. Maybe you can also just say a sentence about who you are and why you are participating in this. But then what you were saying about San Pablo Park and what you see as possible for this event and maybe other events like it.
Well, I just want to say this event to me at San Pablo Park is going to, and it ought to, start the road to healing at that park, because historically that park has always been a community park with all walks of life, all races. No one's ever had a problem at San Pablo. People aren't being robbed and racially discriminated, and none of that kind of stuff ever happened there. The trouble started in that park once this whole disease of gun violence emerged in the community. And, it's unfortunate that, again, when we look at that park and in a large block, different blocks of Berkeley had once been largely owned by African-American families, owned a majority of the homes throughout, a lot of homes throughout Berkeley, and especially over there in South Berkeley. And I'd say over the last 10 years, as the population has changed, it's not so community oriented anymore. There is a division, I feel, that's unnecessary, but it's happened. And I know that people have moved into Berkeley from different parts of the country, Midwest, and far, far up to Vermont, and that aren't used to living amongst people of color. And that in itself is problematic in a city like Berkeley, California. And that has reared its ugly head in the city, and it's really unfortunate. But I believe that this event can be a catalyst of changing mindsets and changing just the whole thought of what San Pablo looks like, because this event is community-based. All people are welcome. And again, there'll be organizations that represent community in all walks of life, and there is no divisions. And so that's a big thing that I'm really hoping for, especially when we have our electeds to come to the event and really seize the moment to actually really create cohesion and peace in the community. And Coach Lowe is from Berkeley. He is from the soil in that town, and there's no division in his mind about people. He's serving children that are underserved. And unfortunately, in our city and most cities, most people of color, children of color, are underserved and underrepresented in that whole piece. And so he's doing the good work. It's not that he doesn't want to work with other children. He has Latino children on the team too, but people make their choices about where they want their kids to engage and the activities they want them to participate in. And the Junior Jackets are open and welcoming to all people. And I hope that that message will come across at this event. So that's really the biggest piece for me in regards to this event that's coming. And I think it's just great that the organizations that are partnering to make this thing happen and to move forward is awesome, and the city needs it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Scott, for letting me put you on the spot.
It's okay.
Reverend
I'm
Phillips,
doing laundry.
while you're doing the laundry, yeah, well, this is a true community event then.
Yeah.
Reverend Phillips, I'm wondering if I can put you on the spot. I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up ahead of time, but I'm remembering the story you told. Reverend Phillips' parents own a home on San Pablo Park where he grew up, and he has been back taking care of them in their older years.
Oh.
And I'm wondering, Reverend Phillips, if you would share the short story that you mentioned, and then we'll move on to the planning of our event next weekend. But wondering if you would share what you told me about the change that you've perceived in the neighborhood. And there was one time in particular when somebody really challenged why you were even in the neighborhood when you were standing outside your parents' house. But I'm wondering if you can just talk about the change that you've perceived as you come back and what that's been like for you.
Yes, thank you. I'm almost 60 years old now, and I can remember my mother calling me as a kid. We used to play tackle football on Matthew Street on the cement back in the day. And I moved away for 25 years, and I came back to take care of my parents. And one particular day, I was getting something out of my car, and a white lady drove by and said, "Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you here before. Who do you belong to?" And I was kind of thrown off by it because I hadn't realized the neighborhood had changed that much. And I counted on the block I grew up on, there's only 3 families of Black folks left. The rest are white or Asian. And the whole neighborhood around San Pablo Park has changed. We used to always joke that when are they gonna fix the park up? You know, since I've been back, they've redone the tennis courts a couple of times, and they put in a new swing set, all kinds of new things at the park. But like Scott said, it's not community anymore. It's about white folks. And to be honest, it's about white privilege. And you know, being a pastor of a new church, Agape Christian Fellowship Church, it's we don't matter about skin color. It's still weird to walk around the neighborhood and I don't see people like me anymore. Yeah. And I told my mom about that, about what had happened before she got sick. She said, "Well, you know, you living in Santa Barbara, you used to that." I said, "Well, not in Santa Barbara, even though there's not that many Black people, we are there. And they know that we live there." So here, coming back to my old neighborhood, and where I see houses selling for $1.4 million.
Yeah.
And people, real estate agents constantly calling this house because they go through the MLS and they see, well, that house has been in the same family for this many years. I wonder if we can get them to sell so we can move in. So, and what's the scary part is you pay 1.4 million for a house, then you put money into it to fix it up as well. And these are not people of color.
Yeah.
And the way they treat the Junior Jackets at San Pablo Park, it's supposed to be a family community park, but they're not treated that way.
Thank you,
So-
Reverend Phillips.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Phillips. Coach Lowe, we've got about 15 minutes left. I want to just really honor everybody's time. I know you're all tired. And I want to, first of all, thank you all who have spoken. It's really nice to hear a perspective that not all of us on this call get to hear the perspective that you're bringing very often. I would like to ask Coach Lowe, I have some things I'll put in the chat, but I'm curious, Coach, if you would mind telling us and anybody who listens to the recording, how the community can be involved in Junior Jackets Day.
Well, the community can be involved with just supporting us and help us out with the food and the drinks. We got a cost for the DJs, for the jumpers. We're trying to buy a lot of games so everybody can have entertainment, or volunteering to help serve the food and just be there and be a part of it. Whatever you could contribute, it's fine. It's a blessing. And let's go ahead and have a great day come July 23rd.
That's wonderful. I'm trying to put it in the chat. There's a couple specific games that they're looking to purchase, and I'm having trouble putting it in the chat. What?
I think it's there.
It's
Just press-
there?
Press enter.
Oh, there it is. Yes. So there's a couple games that I'm wondering if somebody would want to sponsor purchasing one of these games for Junior Jackets Day. And then, I did it twice. Yeah. And then we have a donation page to try to see if we can raise funding in the community to get Junior Jackets through the season with everything they need. And we have several different irons in the fire in terms of lining up longer term sustainable funding for the program. But it is suddenly growing, and Coach Lowe and Lynn Marie are kind of just needing the wider community to step forward in whatever way, to whatever degree works for you. But we would love for you to contribute in making the entire season a success by going to the donations page or just purchasing a game that they're looking for. And you can also email me if you want more. Oh, good. Wonderful. Thank you, Kim. Kim is going to get the Jenga game. Wonderful. Will you bring it? Will you bring it with you on Saturday? Yeah.
Well, we need the extra large one, the big one, the outside one.
Kim, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'll do that, or I'll make sure Lo gets it before, through to Lo.
Did you get it's the extra large one?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Stephanie,
Thank you,
noon
Kim.
to 4. Stephanie, it's noon to 4, Junior Jackets Day. Yeah. Thank you, Kim. That's wonderful. So
Thank you, Kim.
we also have this donation page. Coach, we've raised $350 so far. So that will help offset just this event a little bit. But it's also not just about the money, as we've said before. It's really about the feeling of community coming together to lift these kids up, lift this team up, and have a new kind of exchange at San Pablo Park, where we are just supportive of one another and having a fun time together. So we would also just love for you to come if you're able to and bring your kids. And we also were looking, Lynn Marie wasn't able to come this evening, but we are looking for some specific volunteers for specific roles. And I don't know that we have a sign-up sheet for that. But if, Coach, can you say a couple of things that you know you would need help with that day? And I can have people email me if they're open to playing that role.
Yes, we need help with food servers. We need help with fittings because a lot of kids gonna come that day that haven't been fitted for their uniforms. So we're gonna need a lot of hands for that and just assisting with the paperwork because it get kind of crowded that day because a lot of kids come at the last minute. So yeah, so paperwork, fittings, and serving the food.
Great. And do you have all the help you need in terms of setting up and breaking down the event, or do you still?
Oh,
need
yeah,
help?
I forgot about that. Yeah, and help set it up and breaking down.
So what time are you? I think I volunteered my good husband. But what time are you getting there in the
I'm
morning?
gonna get there about 9 o'clock.
Gonna get there about 9 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know, but
The 23rd,
yeah. Okay. Well, you got one. And I know Scott's coming.
yes.
Yes. But could you use a couple of other sets of hands in the morning before noon?
I think that probably take care of everything because normally, the DJ normally bring his own stuff, and then a couple people they bring their tents and their own chairs. So I think that's enough hands. And then Scott said he's gonna bring a couple young fellas. So I think we can put it up. I
Great.
don't want too many people coming out there that carrying one chair and that's it. So I think we can handle that.
And how about the breakdown after the event? Do you have what you need?
Yeah, we have what we need. We should have enough people out there to break down.
Great. Great. Let's see. There's a couple things in the chat. Mary Lee is wondering if they can spread the word about the Junior Jackets Day neighborhood email lists. Is there any particular way to describe Junior Jackets and the program? Perhaps use some of the stuff from the fundraising page. We have a flyer to the event, and Coach, am I allowed to say we welcome passing the flyer around? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I will make sure the flyer goes out to everybody who's registered for this event so that you can share it. We would love for you to share it to the neighborhood lists. And you can definitely use the language from the fundraising page to describe to people what Junior Jackets is. And let's see, Stephanie writes, I know a couple people that will want to pitch in, so I'll get the Connect 4 game. Awesome.
The
Stephanie.
extra large, the outside one.
Coach, you broke up there. What'd you say?
I said the extra large Connect 4. It's the outside Connect 4, the extra large one.
Stephanie, did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's nodding. That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Stephanie and Lo, have you met each other before?
I haven't met
Just at-
Steph.
Just not in person, but at your birthday Zoom.
Oh,
my
yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
How you doing, Stephanie? Good to see you again.
You.
Great. Is there anything else that you would like us to know about Junior Jackets? Or are there any questions that anyone has about Junior Jackets or about Junior Jackets Day? Kim, are you raising your hand? You go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a question. So Lo, you said you need assistance with paperwork. You need the person to be there for the whole, 4 hours from 12 to 4, or can they do a chunk of time, like 2 to 4?
Anytime you have time, whatever time you want to volunteer for, just come and, when it's you ready to leave, when it's time, you gotta go, you gotta go. But
Okay.
anytime, from 12 to 4. 'Cause that
Okay.
paperwork, yeah. that's going to get pretty busy.
Okay.
Thank you, Kim. That's awesome.
Thank you, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
Mom just donated $100.
Oh, a donation just came in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. No questions, anyone? Coach, is there? Yeah.
I just want to say yay and thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're just trying to take this program to another level. But, you know, it's not just about football and cheer. You know, we're trying to teach them life skills. You know, I was told a long time ago, a disrespectful child gonna be a disrespectful man. So we're trying to change that.
Amen to that.
We're trying to teach them to
Amen
respect.
to that.
Yes. So, yeah.
Amen to that.
I want to just add to that, that one of the ways I've seen you teach these young people respect is that you respect them.
Absolutely.
Right.
Treat them with so much dignity and care, and you hold high expectations and you're firm when you need to, but you treat them with a level of dignity that I'm not sure, given what I know about the schools and the city, the environment, they're not getting treated with that level of dignity. And we know that feeling disconnected and isolated and undervalued in the community is a major cause of engagement in violent activity. And so it's just to know we are respected and cared for in the way that you're respecting and caring for the young people changes lives. I wish it weren't so radical, but it is what you're doing.
Well, they know I love them and I trust them and they trust me. So once we establish that relationship, that they could trust me and I love them and I don't lie to them, and whatever I say I'm gonna do, I'll do it for them. So once you know, kids, that go a long way with kids. Once you build that foundation and that trust and that relationship and that love, they'll do anything you tell them to do. And they won't forget that. Even if they go on the wrong path, they'll come back because that foundation has been built.
Yes.
And I'm a witness to that.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, that's exactly right. Does anybody else have a question or comment? Anything you want to say before we sign off for the evening?
And Coach Lowe, having those big arms doesn't hurt.
And we grew up together, man, and played at that park, San Pablo Park.
San Pablo Park. Mhm.
Yes, a long time ago.
That park saved my life. You know,
Absolutely.
being involved in baseball, you know, and it was free back in the day. You didn't have to pay much.
Right.
You know, back baseball saved my life.
Right.
So
That is.
sports, I'm with Pastor Craddock. Sports.
Yep.
Sports saved my life.
Yeah.
And I came from a good, strict home.
Yes. I could win the bill.
But I like the mischief back in the, you know, we like mischief back in the day.
No.
Yeah. But it is true. That is true.
Kim, you remember it too.
No, but it would save me from be hanging out with all the boys, not, so I, and getting tough so I could be better on the teams in high school, the basketball teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, only having one child now, which I had like 27, that's because of all of them.
That's because of all of them. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Kim and her brother was right there. That was right in the mix.
Saved me.
We go a long way back at that park.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
No.
You guys are amazing. This is like a whole gang of no longer young adults,
Right.
who all grew up
Unbelievable.
together and who all share this commitment to the young people in the community. It's like
Right, right.
just the
Right.
more of you I meet and the longer I know you, the more moved I am by you. The dedication and the time you put in and the incredible care. It's just so moving. So my
And see,
wish
I
is,
can,
that- yeah.
I can remember working out with Ricky Henderson and Shooty Babbitt at the big field at San Pablo Park. That's when pro athletes came down to San Pablo Park to work us out for baseball, sports like that. Professionals came to work, help us out back in the day.
Willie McGee from Richmond used to come.
Willie
to the-
McGee too, yeah. We some old folks.
Well, you guys are.
Okay.
Kim is a young chicken. I don't know.
You guys are.
Well, thank you all for coming out and for meeting these guys, for listening, for just lending your love and support for their incredible leadership and lifelong commitment to this community and to peace in this community by focusing on the needs of the underserved. So thank you. I will keep you posted. We're going to do this again in a month, and we've got a slightly different focus each time. We're going to have different guests coming in to say some things about how we build peace effectively in an enduring, deep way that can affect the whole community for the long term. So thank you all so much, and email me if you have any questions or, know that you want to be involved and didn't get to sign up. Love to you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks
God
for the
bless.
support.
Night. Thank you,
Very
everybody.
Way to go.
Very
Coach.
inspiring.
Way to go, Coach.
Good
night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Very
Have a good evening.
inspiring.
Have a good
Way to
evening.
go, Coach.
Okay.
Oh, you guys are fun.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.